Hi, my name is Kathy and I'm the Public Engagement Manager here at the Delaware Museum of Natural History. Even though we are closed at the moment, we want to make sure to bring some amazing science to you, wherever you are, whether it's at school, your home, anywhere. So what I have with me today, I have a couple live friends, not so live friends, and a really fun activity you are going to be able to do at home. And it all has to do with engineering. And what is engineering? Well, it's a branch of science where they build things like machines, structures, and lots of other things. I mean, engineers built my phone, they built this building, the museum, they built the exhibits behind us. There's all different types of engineering. But what we're going to look at today, and you can probably hear them, is engineering in the natural world. We are looking at animal engineers. So let me show you my friends here. I'm going to bring them in. All right, oh, they're stopping to say hi. These are sun conyers. Why would I bring in these small parrots? They are birds, that's right. Why would I bring them in if we're talking about animal engineers? Well, it's because birds are some of the most incredible engineers in the natural world. What do I mean by that? They build things. And most importantly, they build nests. And there's lots of different kinds of nests that they build. These guys, the sun conyers, they are found down in South America in the rainforest. So when they build a nest, it's up way up in the trees. It's hard for us to see. But they also do some other things. And if you can look, you can see their beaks. The beaks are big hooks. And that's their main tool for building, for doing anything. Their beaks, and then we have their feet. They hold on with their feet, they grab with their beak, they can bite and shred things with their beak as well. You can probably look around and see some of the things that they've torn apart in here. We have to give them, we have to engineer stuff for them so they can exhibit natural behaviors. So they can pretty much play. It's called enrichment. So what they would do in the wild, they can do here as well. So they have things to tear apart, to swing on, to eat, all that fun stuff. Right? Yeah. So these are our sun conyers. They are a type of bird, and just like other birds, they build a nest. So I'm going to roll them back out of frame. I'm going to show you some really cool nests that we have. Hi, guys. Perfect. So behind me, we said that birds build nests. Behind me is a bird that doesn't really build a nest. We're going to start with the weird one. This exhibit is about the Kiwi bird. You can see the adult down there. There's another one in the back, and all the way over here is the baby kiwi. Do you see a nest? Maybe a little bit. You can see some of the grass that's used kind of like bedding underneath the baby. But these guys are unusual. They're not going to build a nest. They build a burrow. So they dig their way in underground to keep the babies, the eggs, nice and safe. So this is one form of bird engineering. Let's see some ones that we're more familiar with. Have you ever seen this guy before? Probably. They're all over, especially in the morning. You'll see them on the ground looking for bugs and other animals to eat. This is an American robin. You can really tell them by that red breast right there. Now, they build a very cool nest. Here it is. And we have to be careful because they are a little fragile. You can see how big it is. It fits in the palm of my hand pretty well. And it's amazing. Remember, they don't have hands like us. They don't have tools like hammers or pliers or saws or anything like that. So they are building this with what you see in this picture here. And they get pretty creative. So the robin, what they're going to do first is they're going to build kind of like a cup or a bowl. And they're going to get lots of stuff. You can see grasses, like some pretty big grasses in here, maybe some pieces of leaves, lots of other just twigs and such. And what they're going to do is make this bowl shape using their wing. So they're pretty much going to be taking kind of like the wrist joint on their wing and pressing it down into a bowl shape. Then they bring in soft mud, which is often what we call casings. It's worm poop, honestly. So they bring that and they use it to stiffen it. And you can kind of hear, it's pretty hard as compared to, see how that area is soft? That's pretty hard. So this thing is pretty impressive. It holds together well. So they first build it with all these thicker grasses, then they case it with this mud that hardens, and then they line it with finer grass like this. This is what makes it nice and soft from the eggs and then the babies in there. So this is a robin's nest. That's pretty impressive work. I'm going to show you another one that's even more impressive. Put that away nice and carefully. Now we have this guy. Anyone have seen one? Our Conyers want to say hi again too. This is a ruby-throated hummingbird. It's not as big. These guys are very, very tiny birds, which means they build even tinier nests. This is a hummingbird nest. See how it's much smaller? That's right, guys. They're green. It's pretty small. So this is very, very small. And they build it kind of similar to the robin, but you can see it's a little squishier. So it's not quite the same. So what they do is they find a branch and they're going to take soft things like thistle or even the down from dandelions, the flowers. And they're going to start building the cup. And so just like the robin did, they want a cup or like a bowl shape. They need the eggs to sit there, somewhere safely. And then what they do to hold it all together, they use spiderweb silk. How cool is that? So they grab it from a spider web and they kind of weave it and they use it to hold it together like that. And what they do to get this shape, doesn't do this naturally, they use their neck and their chest and they will press down on this to make it. Because remember, they don't have hands like we do. Then they take their feet and they stamp it down for the bottom and you have a bowl shape. But if you look on the outside here, they will collect other things like moss. This one looks like it collected little bits of paper, soft paper that may have been outside to what they say decorate it, or what we think is scientists think is for camouflaging it. Because if this is up in a tree, it's going to hide pretty well. So this is the hummingbird nest. So you can see birds are pretty incredible engineers. They build small nests. They build the big nest that's hard, covered in mud. And they can also dig a burrow. This is all incredible. Again, no arms, no hands, nothing like that. So what they're doing is an incredible feat there. But they're not the only engineers out in the natural world. Let me show you our next friend. Ta-da! You guys know what this is? Probably do. This is a beaver. And what do beavers do? Well, lots of cool stuff. But as an engineer, they are one of the top. They build dams and their homes, which are called lodges. Now, the dams are exactly what you think. This is a great picture of one. You can see the higher water behind, the dam here, which is made of sticks and mud, leaves, all that fun stuff. It's stopping the water flow, so the water's a lot lower down here. Now, they do this to help build their home, called the lodge. Now, how do they do it? Just like the birds, they have several adaptations, and all of these help them to survive well in their habitat, in their home. If a bird can't build a nest, its babies aren't going to survive. So the beaver, our friend here, has to build a dam to create the home and the lodge for them to survive, especially over the winter. So they have a couple different adaptations. I'm going to show you. One here, everyone knows, that big flat tail, right? It kind of looks a little scaly. Not really scaly, but it's just what it looks like. That's used like a rudder for them to help swim. And also they can prop and sit back on it kind of like a chair when they're chewing their food or trying to down trees. So it's really interesting. That's one adaptation. And another one is their fur. It's very thick, very warm. It's a double layer of fur, so that helps keep them dry when they're in the water, keeps them warm when they're in the water as well. And the other one, we can't see too well from here, but I'm going to grab one more thing. This is a beaver skull. You can see it a lot better. This other adaptation is their teeth. And no, they didn't just not brush. The orange is a natural color. It's an iron-rich enamel that is on the teeth, helps protect it because their teeth are always growing, so they're always chewing. And the chewing helps get it into this kind of chisel shape. See how it's pointed? Which in turn helps them to better chew down trees. So it's a big cycle. It's all helpful and helps them to survive. And here is a branch you can see that has been chewed by a beaver. See this right here? Imagine doing that with just your teeth. Please don't try that at home, guys, all right? We don't want you to do that. But you can see what a beaver can do. Now what happens, so after they chew down a tree, they can drag it to help build their dam and their lodge. And I keep using this word lodge. What does that mean exactly? The lodge is the beaver's home. This is a great diagram of one. Now, they're engineers, not just for building it, but they have a particular design for it too. What they do is, you can see over here, they're going to stash twigs and branches, food that they can store, especially for the winter. So first off, they have kind of like a refrigerator right there. That's pretty awesome. And then from the refrigerator, they're gonna go up. So they have underwater doorways. And not just one, they build two. Why? Well, this helps protect them from predators, because most predators aren't gonna wanna swim down and then up into the lodge to get to the beaver. So it's an added layer of protection. So they swim up, and then they have a dry area up here. And this is where the babies are born, where they live, and especially where they can stay warm for the winter. So another part of their lodge that they design, that they build into the design, I should say, is this chimney or ventilation shaft. So this allows for airflow, for fresh air to come in. This is pretty incredible. This is what humans do. They design their house, so they have multiple doorways, ways to keep us safe. We put locks on the doors. You know, we have fireplaces with chimneys. We have comfy beds. So all of this is just like us. They build this home. And again, they don't really have hands like us. They don't have tools. Their tools are their teeth, their tails, their warm, waterproof fur, all of that. These are adaptations that help them to survive well in their habitat. And what's really interesting is they build this with sticks and mud and maybe even a little bit of rocks and logs, all of this. And that mud will freeze over the winter too. So if an animal happens to walk across it in the winter, it walks across it, no damage done. But just like us, they have to keep repairing this. I mean, this lodge is going to be built right near the dam. It's going to be in this water that's moving, so it's, things are going to get washed away. So they're always repairing this. Now, why do we talk about this? This is incredible, right? These are incredible animal engineers. But for us, dams can be very important. Beavers can build dams, and it can flood areas. An area that used to be dry is now waterlogged. It's completely covered in water. Now that can be a great thing. It can be a new wetland, which makes a home for lots of different types of animals. But it can also cause flooding for us. So scientists often have to figure out when a new dam is being built what to do. Do they let it be built, or do they help the beavers find another spot to build their dam? So it's very interesting. Yeah, right? See, they think it's interesting too. So it's a very interesting problem for us, because scientists have to keep an eye on beavers. They can significantly change the landscape, a habitat. They can make something that used to be a forest into a wetland. So beavers are very, very critical. And that's where you guys come in. We've talked about all these great examples of animal engineering. You're gonna get a chance to be an engineer now. I'm gonna put my props away here. We'll leave our beaver friend, since he is gonna be our inspiration for this. We're gonna do a little make-believe here. We are gonna pretend you are going to be a scientist. And your problem is, you have a wetland, or you get to build a wetland, I should say. It's a great thing. You are restoring this wetland that used to be there decades ago. How do you get this land to be wet again? How do you bring the water back in? Well, your first idea is to think of the beaver, to try to build a dam. So we're gonna have you practice this at home. to solve this problem of how to rebuild a wetland. So you're going to need a few things, and they're pretty easy to get. It doesn't have to be exactly like we have here. So use your imagination, have some fun with it. First is you want a tub. Doesn't need to be this. It can be any sort of tub, just something that will hold water. And then this is fun. You get to go out and get a little dirty, all right? First, you're gonna go out and get some twigs, just like the beaver. If you don't have that, you could use popsicle sticks that you have inside. I've done this before where I've cut up a pool noodle and into strips. So have some fun with that. You get to go dig and get some dirt mud. We even got some leaves and we crushed them up, tore them up into little pieces, and we used some small rocks. Now the challenge is to use these materials just like a beaver would and to build a dam across the middle of this. There's one more thing. If we're going to test the dam, what do we need? You need water. So I'll show you an example that I did, and I want to see you guys try this at home. And please feel free to share your photos, your videos with us at Delaware. You can go to our Facebook page, Instagram. Feel free to share that. We want to see what you guys are doing at home. Let me move these to the side. I'll get the example. So you can see that I built this one here, and I used a beaver dam as really my inspiration for it. I put some mud in the middle with some rocks and some leaves to hold it all together, and I lined the twigs up it like that. So we're going to test it and see how it goes. We're going to pour some water on the side over here and see if it goes through on this side. If you guys can see, it looks like it's holding. Yes, success. So we built a beaver dam here with some pretty basic materials, just like a beaver would in the wild. This is what scientists have to do. They have to come up with solutions to help our environment, to help recreate, I should say, a wetland again. So this is your problem. Be a scientist, see how you can create a dam to help create a wetland. If you guys have any questions or anything like that, we're still here. We love to talk to you. Feel free to email us, reach out to us on Facebook, anything like that, guys. All of our social media is up. Have some fun at home building a beaver dam and just enjoy it. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thanks for joining us today. Bye, guys.